Protesters who oppose Utah's inland port project appeared in court today for the first time. Their protests over the summer turned violent. ABC4's Jared Giattinini was there in the courtroom. He's now live in Salt Lake City. So, Jared, what happened in court today?
Well, Brian, as you mentioned, those protesters have appeared in court pleading not guilty to a slew of charges stemming from those violent inland port protests from back in July. But before court here this morning, another group of protesters gathered in front of the courthouse here, this time peacefully asking the state to drop those charges.
I say no. You say charges. No. Charges. No. Charges.
This is video from those July protests. Now, 10 protesters are charged with felonies and/or misdemeanors. One of the men allegedly spit in an officer's face during the demonstration. The demonstration, if you remember, started outside the city and county building before protesters marched to occupy the lobby of the Salt Lake Chamber. There, officials say protesters destroyed up to $7,000 worth of city property. Now, you might recall the Inland Port Project plans to redevelop Salt Lake City's northwest quadrant. Protesters and defendants say the proposed project could hurt the environment.
These charges are a blatant act of political repression. The inland port harms our community, and we as defendants are members of this community. These charges need to be dropped now.
This is not about political repression whatsoever. This is about our office having a duty to enforce the law and to balance those competing needs between order and civil disobedience, and that's what we're doing.
Sim Gill says he isn't against protesting, but demonstrators must follow the law. He wouldn't say if the state plans to drop those charges. Now, the big takeaway here, the 10 protesters who are facing criminal charges are scheduled to be back in court here February 7th at 1:30. Reporting live in Salt Lake, Jared Giattinini, ABC4 News.